He was one of the greatest heroes of the American Revolution, but he was not an American. He is arguably the most decorated Freemason ever, but no one knows his original lodge. He is buried in American soil, but he is not buried in America. And his first name is Marie. You might, however, recognize him by his full name, Marie Joseph Paul Yves Roche Gilbert du Motier Marquis de Lafayette. Sometimes known as the Forgotten Hero, the Marquis de Lafayette secured France's assistance during the American Revolution, an act which very possibly ensured the defeat of the British and the birth of a new nation. He was so taken by this new country and its concepts of democracy and equality, he once remarked, "From the moment I heard the name America, I loved it." More than 50 towns in the United States are named after him. Marie Antoinette mocked him when she first met him. However, he was only 19 when he became a major general. He commanded colonial troops in 1777 under conditions so poor it is said they resorted to eating their shoes. He warned General Washington that opposing forces in Congress wanted to remove him, gaining Washington's trust for a lifetime. Washington had no son. Lafayette had no living father. Washington considered Lafayette a surrogate son, and Lafayette named his son George Washington de Lafayette in honor of his friend. Lafayette used the slave Armistead to infiltrate Cornwallis camp and thereby outsmarted and defeated the general. And when, exclusively due to Lafayette's assistance, that slave was freed, he so loved the Frenchman he changed his name to James Armistead Lafayette. When he took the fort at Yorktown, his troops' guns were empty. He used only fixed bayonets to win the battle. And then he ordered his band to play Yankee Doodle while the British surrendered their arms. Lafayette urged Washington to make the experiment in democracy complete by removing the taint of slavery from the United States. With Thomas Jefferson, he drafted the Declaration of the Rights of Man. Imprisoned during the French Revolution, he gained his release as a result of the pleadings of George Washington. James Monroe invited him back to the United States to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the American Revolution. 80,000 people, 2/3 of the population of New York, greeted him. In the U.S., he visited all 24 states, declaring, "Someday, America will save the world." He stopped his parade in Virginia when he recognized James Armistead Lafayette in the crowd, and the two had an emotional reunion. He removed American soil. Some reports say from Bunker Hill, others say from a spot near Washington's grave, and took it with him back to France. Today, his body rests beneath that soil. Above all, the great legacy of the Marquis de Lafayette was his passionate advocacy of human rights and the democratic principles embodied by the new United States. French writer, politician, and historian François-René du Chateaubriand was so impressed by Lafayette's single-minded dedication as a champion of democracy and equality, he said, "Monsieur de Lafayette had only one idea. Happily, it was the idea of the century." For the Whence Came You podcast, this is Steve Harrison with the Masonic Minute.